Good evening. I'm Jim Carr, Assistant Principal at Veterans Memorial Middle School, along with Steve Morelli, Assistant Principal at Lake Riviera Middle School. We thank you, Dr. Farrell, Ms. McNamara, Dr. Anderson, Mrs. Hanson, Mr. Cranston, Mr. Edwards, Board of Education members, and the great citizens of Brick Township for allowing us to share our virtual reflection on the importance of social-emotional learning, where we are socially distant but emotionally connected during this unique year. A typical middle school classroom includes young adolescents with a range of skills, interests, abilities, and personalities. Both Veterans Memorial Middle School and Lake Riviera Middle School have taken the philosophical approach that in order to meet the educational needs of a child, you must also simultaneously address their developmental needs as young adolescents. In other words, educate the whole child. Over the last few years, you may have heard the term SEL, which stands for Social Emotional Learning. It is the process of learning social and emotional skills, and it's just as important as learning reading or math. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to be in tune with their own emotions, self-regulate their behaviors, have empathy for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. The first core competency of SEL is self-awareness. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which helps them empathize and show compassion no matter who they are or what their background is. Students learn that self-awareness is about accurately recognizing one's emotions and thoughts and how that influences their behaviors. This includes accurately assessing one's strengths and limitations and possessing a well-grounded sense of confidence and optimism. It is not difficult to imagine how important this is in the classroom and in life.
Hi, my name is Natalia, and here from Vets, and here at Vets we're kind to everybody.
Hi, I'm Joey, and I look forward to coming to school every day because my teachers encourage me to do my best.
Today's question is, would you rather be the best player on a losing team or be the worst player on a winning team? So Kira, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, if it's the best player on the team, is it the most athletic player on the team, like being like the best at like whatever they're doing on the team, or can it be the best player to a point where they use their knowledge of the other players and put that to their advantage to a point where you can switch them to be a losing team to be a better team?
Aha! So Kira, you're like right to my heart, right to my heart.
Another core competency of SEL is self-management. Students learn to recognize what's happening inside of them and be aware of their feelings, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. It helps them stop, take a breath, and think about a situation before acting. Students learn to effectively regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations. This includes managing stress, controlling impulses, motivating oneself, and setting and working toward achieving personal and academic goals.
My name is Olivia Hobbs, and I go to VMMS, and I'm in 8th grade. And in January, we had to make resolution scrolls, and this is some of my resolutions. Getting straight A's, staying organized, and not eating a lot of junk food. But my main resolution was getting straight A's, and my plan for that was to study a lot.
SEL also focuses on responsible decision making. Students are more likely to meet with success in their everyday lives if they learn to make responsible decisions that will determine desired outcomes. Students learn to make constructive and respectful choices about personal behavior and social interactions based on consideration of ethical standards, safety concerns, social norms, and the well-being of self and others.
Hi, I'm Chris McWade, and I'm the president of Student Council. Next year, I'm striving to do all honors classes and eventually be an astronaut.
In life, I'm able to figure out why I did something wrong from thinking outside of the box and seeing it from another angle. I know that when we start a project, that we have to come up with a plan. In life, that's very useful because you'll have an idea for what you want to accomplish and how you're going to do it.
One of the most prevalent core competencies of SEL is relationship skills. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. Students learn to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with diverse individuals and groups. This includes communicating clearly, listening actively, cooperating, resisting inappropriate social pressure, negotiating conflict constructively, and seeking and offering help when needed. The final core competency is social awareness. Students learn to take the perspective of and empathize with others from diverse backgrounds and cultures, to understand social and ethical norms for behavior, and to recognize family, school, and community resources and supports. Greater social awareness, particularly surrounding characteristics like gender, race, religion, age, culture, class, and financial circumstances, will ensure that their ability to make decisions in social settings like school take diversity into account.
In the last week of the club, we worked on coming up with ideas for a bulletin board to be made in the school for Women's History Month, which combined both language arts and math. In the language arts proportion, we had to find different influential women in the U.S. and give information why they were so important. And in math, we had to come up with some supplies that would be bought and figure out dimensions of the bulletin board.
We watched last week, remember we watched Hidden Figures? So when we finished the movie, I finished it with the other class, and I got to talk to them about their final thoughts. And we learned about the stories of these three great women, and they all were very different, but also had some great similarities. And either way, I think we can all agree that each of their stories were pretty inspiring. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and what I wanted to get from you guys is, Which women's story from the movie did you find the most inspiring? A response here. Katherine Johnson seems to have been the most inspiring. Is there anyone that wants to share why they chose Katherine Johnson?
She worked very hard and she didn't give up on what she really wanted.
Ooh, she worked hard and didn't give up, Paul. I love that. There's a word for that. We call that perseverance. I agree, Paul. She was...
And resilience.
And resilience, absolutely. She had perseverance and resilience, two of our Laker qualities. That's incredible. Thank you, Paul.
Students who embrace the core competencies of SEL do better academically, have improved attitudes and behaviors, and act in disruptive ways less often. In the United States, students with strong social-emotional competence are twice as likely to earn a college degree and 50% more likely to have a full-time job by the age of 24. Just as important, students who are socially and emotionally competent have more friends, which means are more likely to feel connected to their school and do well and less likely to be left out. Simply put, by embracing social-emotional learning, students learn the skills to succeed in every facet of school and the rest of their lives.